Good Saturday evening, fellow orchid lovers. Here I am. I want you to see that all the orchids that have been winterized in the garage have been moved once again out to the orchid house. The temperature in the garage is 83 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity is 62%. It's kind of muggy here today. So we're going out to the orchid house to see how everyone has been settled in. There's Big Fowl. Big Fowl is the one that I moved carelessly, I guess you would say, and it had a beautiful bloom. There's the bloom over there. I just stuck it down in some sphagnum moss. Don't think it'll live very long, but anyhow, it was so pretty. I kept it. A lot of the blooms had fallen off, and there's the spike where I cut it. I guess I should cut it a little closer. That's Big Fowl. Little Fowl bloomed some, but those blooms are starting to fall off of the spike. But I can see over here in the back that there might be another spike about to produce more blooms. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Anyhow, that's what's happening with Little Fowl. Okay, I have some other orchids here that are doing pretty well. They're in the shady, it gets indirect sun, but for the most part no direct sun here. And here I see a little something starting to happen. There, I just watered them before I brought them outside, and then I gave them all a little dose of Epsom salt, and they're sitting there. Okay, it's getting pretty warm here. This is our new addition. I picked this one up. I rescued this one from Lowe's a couple hours ago. It looked pretty well. A lot of the other ones were dead. I see a little something not so good going on with this. It has a bulb. I'm not really sure what this orchid is, but I'm thinking the root system may be pretty good. I have to check it out. There's a little fern. I love that little fern. I added him to the mix. And there we have our tenifolia. Okay, and looking about the same. I don't really know much about this orchid. It just stays there. Okay, it just keeps doing what it's doing. So I keep feeding it and watering it on the same schedule as the others. And here we have our, let me see, Misty Blue, Feather Misty Blue. Okay, and it's looking pretty good. Got a few roots sticking out, coming out, new root system underneath there. Everything's looking good. This one gets a little more light, not really direct. The post here keeps it out of direct sun. So here's what's happening in the orchid house. And I had a new project. I had a what was that plant? Someone gave me this as a gift, and got some kind of dew on it. So I brought it inside. It's not a geranium. Hydrangea. It was a pretty blue hydrangea. And place where I had it sitting in the shade, it got some moss on the leaves, so I cut the blooms off in those leaves with the moss. Don't know how that's going to do, but I brought it into the orchid house too, so it can get pretty good sun but a lot of shade. My new project, I've always wanted to try my hand at, as you can see, it's busting out. Spring's busting out everywhere. So everything's all greening up. Some's getting a little wild. But I decided to try my hands at growing strawberries in pots. So I just planted that one in the pot. I have another one. Just came back from the garden center, and I picked up two of these. I chose the ones that already had strawberries on them just to make sure they will bloom. That little flower, I'm sure, is going to turn into a strawberry. And the other one had strawberry as well, as you can see it back over in there. So when I talk about the orchids, these plants will be growing on the other side of the fence behind the orchids. So when I update you on the success of the orchids, the trial and the error of the orchids, I'll also let you know how my hand is going with these strawberry plants. Okay, thanks for staying around with me. I'm going to do some better labeling on my orchids so I can call their names right away rather than just generic names. If you know, let me know. Okay, thanks for staying tuned. Have a great, great spring day. Thank you. Bye bye.